Bill de Blasio. He says that he's very concerned about anti-gay evangelical group. He refers to it as led by the virulently anti-LGBTQ and Islamophobic preacher Franklin Graham. Now, I want to be really clear about this organization before I get into something that will piss people off. They provided medical, humanitarian care, all kinds of countries. You have Haiti, earthquakes, hurricane relief,
all over the world.
Natural disasters, pandemics, Darfur, Uganda. They were also, they were one of only 2 organizations to go to Liberia during the Ebola outbreak. That was a 50% death rate.
That's ground zero.
That's crazy.
So think about this for a second. While we're all, and obviously, everyone deserves praise who's helping right now.
Of course.
Yeah. But while we have stories and listicles on BuzzFeed and Vox about the frontline medical workers who've worked a 12-hour shift, and that is tough and they're overburdened, and thank you, for some reason, because we hate the religious affiliation of Franklin Graham, we don't talk about the fact that a 50% death rate, disease, virus, Ebola, 50% death rate in Liberia that they went out and helped.
Yeah.
Now, let's get to Franklin Graham. I read the exact quote, which I think we can bring up. He was very clear, Franklin Graham, in saying, I do not have a problem with the religious followers of Islam. This is not an indictment on all of them. But I do have a problem with the religion. I do have a problem with the teaching. I have a problem with Sharia law, how it's implemented, how they treat their women. I believe that is wicked and evil. So, of course, this article, I think from Gotham, has been very upset and has been covered everywhere. Franklin Graham, Islamophobic, called Islam wicked and evil. Well, he called certain portions of Islam wicked and evil. And here's something just like, you know what, maybe this pandemic is maybe a little bolder and I don't really care if I get removed. Because Mug Club, thank you so much for joining up. Promo code quarantine $30. Not all followers, not all Muslims, but Muhammad and the founding teachings of it. Yeah, you know what? I'll say wicked and evil.
I would agree.
And here's the thing. All practicing Christians have to believe that what Muhammad specifically, and some writings in Hadith, espoused are wicked and evil. Let me explain to you why, okay? So let's get to, obviously, the idea that the Bible warns against false prophets.
Right.
I think I have a verse, I don't want to read it right, Galatians 1:8-9. If you want to actually go fact check this and go read the verse, that's great. They warn against false prophets, especially anyone who preaches teachings that supersede what is written in the Bible, from Genesis to Revelations. In other words, if these teachings say, no, erase what happened there, we're changing the rules, that is considered biblically evil.
Yeah.
So
it's very clear, right?
And that's where we've talked about other cults. They do that, right? They take the Bible and say, except, and they twist it and they add to it. Did Muhammad do that? Now, I'm not saying all Muslims. I want to be clear. I'm talking about these teachings from a Christian ideology, from a theological standpoint. Abraham, this is a big one. Abraham, he went up to the mountain, had his son, and he was like, no, and he was like, just kidding.
JK.
Yes.
April Fool.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But they Muslims actually, and a big part of this is they say that Ishmael, or they don't believe that it was Isaac who was the one up to be sacrificed.
No, he was. Yeah.
Now, they believe that the texts were perverted and distorted by scribes. In other words, everything after Abraham, you see this with Muhammad, everything after Abraham, before Muhammad, is not really reliable. And by the way, everyone who is kind of Jewy. Yeah. So that's an issue people need to understand.
Scribe is a dog whistle in that case.
Yes, scribe is a dog whistle in that case. And does that not kind of give you an idea as to where maybe some of the anti-Semitism, which has arisen in the Islamic world for the most part, always, where it comes from, everywhere. If you believe that the Jews and the Christians lied or twisted, warped everything past the sacrifice, the non-sacrifice of Abraham, and the blessing of the first child. That's a big deal. That is evil because guess what? It's accusing Christians and Jews of being evil. Important thing too, the Islamic faith, the Islamic religion, I want to say, views all of the Jesus, all the people who came before Muhammad as basically sort of formative Muslims. As bad Muslims. Prophets. They don't view them as Christians because they believe that Islam is the one true faith. And here's the thing, I don't have a problem with that. I want to be clear. No. When people say all religions tell a story, go read Aesop, you dipshit. Who cares? Why should we follow a religion because of a story? So that's what they thought. All religions tell a story. Okay, well then let's look at the story. You look at the story of Jesus. It's, hey, listen, there was a law. This God in the flesh came down to fulfill the law and free you in a lot of ways from the shackles of your sin. That's kind of a recap. That's the Cliff Notes version. That's the elevator. That's the elevator pitch of Jesus Christ. Yeah. Elevator pitch from Muhammad. Everything that guy said is bullshit. Okay? If you're a Christian. Okay, if you're a Christian out there, again, this is important because words matter, wicked and evil. If you're a Christian and someone were to come up to you right now and say, Jesus never died and was resurrected, that's a lie. That never happened. That's about as close to the unforgivable sin as described in the Bible as you can get in modern times. That's what Islam believes. They deny the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now, whether you believe it or not, that's fine. But from a Christian worldview, from a Christian theological worldview, a prophet who arrives after the book of Revelation, who adds to the text and say, by the way, ignore that because the Son of God, God in the flesh, didn't die. The resurrection is a sham. You would have to say that's evil. I don't have a problem with Muslim scholars saying, I'm a Muslim, and I believe that your worldview is trying to draw people away from the one true prophet Muhammad, and that you're evil. Like, there's a big contrast between Jesus and Muhammad. If they say, listen, we follow a serial warlord who married a 6-year-old but only copulated when she was 9, was a very powerful man, a man who led a political movement and social upheaval very violently, and you follow a carpenter who never got laid. I think you guys are wrong. If they said that to me, I would say, I disagree, but I think that worldview, in contrast with mine, is kind of wicked. Not wicked in a cool way, like the skater kids say.
Definitely.